the Freak, who's standing by with our victorious AD carry.
Thank you very much, Seda. I'm here with a turtle that I have successfully tamed for a short time so that we can talk. You can go into the wild afterwards. So talk to me about this game. Was there any extra pressure in making it like the clean 9-0 start coming into this?
I don't think there was that much pressure. We were just treating this game like any other game. Like we would play like this against the top team, and I guess it was weird, but it was still cool.
Why was it weird?
I think I was fighting too much, and yeah, I just too aggressive maybe.
So talk to me about the bot lane matchup, because it was interesting that the Janna gets taken away from Adrian, and then just Thaka comes in anyway. So talk to me about like how that 2-on-2 played out.
It was pretty good for us. Like we were doing pretty well, and then I just decided to try to overextend the lead, and then I died once, and then I fought again, and I died a Quinn TP, so that was weird.
Are those like old TSM flashbacks, or are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it. It was fun.
So talk to me about sort of your team coming together then, because the roster is still a little bit young, right? Came together this year, and you guys are just taking the entire scene by storm. You're crushing everybody. Your average game time is like 22 minutes or something ridiculous. Like, talk to me about how it's continued to be so good for you guys as these other teams are still spinning up as well.
I think it's really good for us because when we make a call, like every player already knows how to set that play up, and it just saves us a lot of time. We don't have to be like get wards here, do this, and we just say play for one side, and then everyone just knows what to do already.
So it feels like you guys are like a level or two ahead of every other team, where you already know like, oh, what side of the map is being played for. So everyone intuitively knows the entire game strategy. This feels unique to you guys.
Yeah. I would say it's pretty unique, and it's just what we're good at, I guess. I just think everyone knows how to play the game on our team, so it's good.
So just it's all intuitive. Like it's not like Dylan came over with like this brand new way to play League of Legends. You're just all like those really high level players. You're all this smart.
Yeah, I think Raynor and Huni has a lot to contribute to. Like they definitely know how to play the game a lot more because they were on Fnatic and they're doing really well. And they definitely helped the rest of us pick up. And I think we're playing them meta pretty well right now.
All right, Turtle, I got one last question for you here. You guys are already crushing North America. Who's the first team that will actually scare you? Who's the first team that might actually beat Immortals here? And you can say Coup Tigers or no one. Like.
Okay, I can just say Coup Tigers. Thank you, Freak.
All right, Coup Tigers, the first team that'll beat Immortals. That's what it's going to be. Thanks, man. That's it for us here. Let's send it down to the analyst desk.
Now, first up, Freak, the Coup Tigers don't exist anymore. They're the Rocks Tigers. So I guess that means nobody can beat them. Exactly. No, that's really what they were saying there was, all right, Immortals to win Worlds. There you have
and
it.
Season 3 SKT would scare me.
That's true.
It's like,
yeah. 9-0. 9-0 Immortals. I think it's about time to approach and maybe discuss for real the possibility of a perfect season here, right? We've now witnessed Immortals pretty handily beat all 9 other teams in the North American LCS. I want to kind of get down to the brass tacks of things and figure out what it is that makes this team so successful, more so than analyzing how it is they'd get beat.
I think the biggest thing for them is that they understand what other teams want to do really, really well, and then they can cut off that team's plays. So a lot of times you'll see Immortals playing kind of standard, and they'll be like feigning like they're going for one play, and then they'll turn around and just do the other one. So multiple times you'll see them look like they're prepping a bot dive, and then all of a sudden it's Huni and Rainover again diving your turret, even though you know that's what Huni and Rainover do. So they kind of read other teams and set them up, and then just destroy them. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. I think they're a very fluid, adaptable, and resilient team because they can change their game plan mid-game. They're able to say, oh, well, this isn't working out for us. Now I see this opportunity, and we're going to go this direction. And as players, I think that even though they are 9-0 now, they aren't getting overconfident. They're sitting there going, you know what, we're going to treat every game as if it is a top team. And I know that people will say that when they're on win streaks, but this is a team that when they say that, I really believe that that is how they're treating every game, that anything less than walking away with a victory that seems clean to them is a failure.
I want to touch on what you said about adapting in-game, because this game in particular, we saw a carry versus carry matchup, and Rainover went top for almost the entire first 15 minutes of the game before they finally went bottom, and that's when Dig went top. And they get 2 turrets and a couple kills, and all Dig gets is 1 kill and 1 turret. And they're just so good at that mid-game, okay, we've camped this carry versus carry lane, now we're going to go bottom and win the game.
Yeah, and they were talking about playing to a side of the map. I think that they actually tunneled on top side a little too long. I think they were trying to give, because Huni got counterpicked, a little bit of an edge over the Quinn, because you can shut down that champion when it's feast or famine. And then I thought as soon as like level 6 comes out for Kalista, you need to go bottom, right? You throw the Soraka in, Soraka will be able to silence the Janna, and there's no chance of a disengage. And Soraka is deceptive because she's a really good turret diving champion, but you don't think that she is because she just heals Rain over the entire time, and they're able to pull that off. So they opened it up eventually when they started playing towards the bot side of the map.
Yeah, it's just like this weird illusion game that they play, right? It's like, you know, the coin's over here and then all of a sudden it's over here. And I feel, without having actually played a game against Immortals myself, that to me, though, is what I imagine the opposing team is feeling the entire time, going, okay, we've got them this time. We know they're going to send Rain over top, and then that's the one time they switch him to the bottom. And it's so interesting. They're such an intriguing team to watch because of that. Another thing that I kind of want to explore, and with this game in particular, I thought it was a pretty good example of how score lines in Immortals games lie to you. They make it feel like the game is so much closer than it is. Because we witnessed here throughout the game, 11-7 in kills, and yet there's a 10K gold advantage because of the multiple turret takes, the farm on GP, right? The Baron that they ended up securing, and the 4 extra turrets. But it always seems like they're playing a close game until the next time you look up at the scoreboard and there's this wild gold advantage.
I actually think that a lot of the times they're just domination from start to finish. Like if I had hid the scoreboard on this match in particular, then I would agree with you. But I think they've had games where they're just shutting the opponent out the entire time and just playing the macro game from the start.
Well, any game that takes 19 minutes, is
Pretty
gonna feel that way,
much.
right? But to the degree that we've seen multiple teams have decent early games against Immortals, we've said, oh, okay, they're challenging them in the early game, right? We're finally seeing an example of them being challenged in that first 15 minutes. And so it happens earlier than probably in most cases where we see a big gold lead, because 2K at 15 minutes is significant. But something about this game, it makes it seem so much closer than it is. You're like, oh, Diggs, they're scrappy, they're staying in it, and then the next thing we know, it's 6 turrets to 2.
It kind of plays to their strengths that we were saying. Like in the early game, you're a little bit more limited in what you can do. And once that map starts opening up and they start taking turrets down, that's when those crazy mind games can really start going, because the vision control is more choked out. They are able to anticipate what the other team wants to do better, and it's when they have more freedom to move around and really catch teams off guard.
Yeah, I think one of their biggest strengths is even if they are behind, they are able to fight back. We saw it in the game that they played against TSM that they almost lost, where they are actually very confident in each other. I think it's the opposite of the problem that we were talking about with TSM, where together I think Immortals are extraordinarily strong, and that's when their biggest strength comes out, when they group up as 4 or 5.
Now, something else I want to take a look at, just some fun statistics, really, more than anything. Rainover, it was mentioned during the game, 9 out of 9 first bloods for the team, so keeping that streak alive, but just speaks to his prevalence in the early portions of the game, being a catalyst for that team. Next up, though, 9 out of 9 games, Soraka and or Janna played in that bot lane, so nobody even pushing him onto his 3rd champion, which you would assume is Alistar, given his champion pool in the summer split, but no one's even attempted to push him past that. Then you've got 7 out of 9 unique champions in the top lane played so far, and 7 out of 9 unique champions in the mid lane played so far. So consistency in some areas, and then unpredictability in others from this team.
Yeah, what do you do, though, against that Adrian champion pool? Because if you pick Janna, he just picks Soraka. He can also play
Which
Alistar,
is a great matchup
right?
for Soraka.
Yeah,
You just saw that.
He's just going to win that matchup. If you ban him out, well, you saw that Huni, he can play a gangplank, right? He has all these things. You're talking about how he's played 6 other champions before he even dove into that pool to get gangplank out of there. This is a team that they have really deep champion pools. I don't think we've seen the full extent of it, but it's so hard to exploit them in picks and bans. I think it's near impossible.
And this is where I put you on the spot, Mark. With your history as a coach and analyst, if you were to approach this team, given some of this information that you have, we talk about, is it worth attacking the support pool? Do you bother to ban out the Soraka, take the Janna away, force him down onto Alistar, which probably wouldn't be that much of a downgrade, and knowing that you're going to be leaving up the likes of GP now for the team to how do you attack this team, really?
I mean, honestly, I don't think there's you should do this, guys, and then next week we're going to see someone do it. But I do agree that spamming Janna and Soraka, you might think that's exploitable. When you say you play 7 out of 9 champions in your 2 solo lanes, it feels like targeting a ban against them is worthless. They're just going to play something else.
Right.
And it's not going to stop them from doing what they want to do. Turtle and Adrian play very, very aggressive and very freely. So I think if there was a way to do it, it'd be more bot focused than Huni ran over top side of the map, as well as Pobelter being fairly self-sufficient.
Yeah, things actually get kind of crazy with that bot lane too, because I think Wild Turtle, like default, he always wants to get Kalista to enable Adrian to make plays, but then he's still got the Lucian to be a solo, just run in there and blow people up. And then he's shown recently that he can play Caitlyn. They play this Siege game, and then it's just so annoying. So I think that this team they play League of Legends in a way that is unfun for the people playing against them. Because they do exactly what you don't want them to do. It's like when you're behind in a lane, you're just like, oh, I hope he doesn't zone me. And he's like, get back there.
Right.
Instead of letting you at least have some CS. So they're very mean when they play League of Legends.
Right. I think it was Kobe earlier in the season said that the correct way to play League of Legends is to make sure that the opposing team does not have fun.
Yep. Like you should constantly be asking yourself, if I could do anything right now to ensure that they have less fun in this game, just do that. That's the right way to play League of Legends.
My blue is gone.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah, we already got first blooded in the mid lane. What could go worse?
Yep.
Oh, they could invade on my blue side, push me off, and take it. It's like, oh, well, then that's probably the right move.
So Immortals happen to be very good at that style of League of Legends, it appears. And they are now 9-0. That's what that means. Now, the teams have matched up throughout the first half of the split. Let's see how they're stacked up in the standings. Immortals, they do sit atop the LCS throne with 9 wins, while NA Dynasties, Cloud9, CLG, and TSM are tied for second. Energy and Liquid are 5th and 6th, above Team Dignitas and Tip, who are tied for 7th. Echo Fox find themselves 1 win ahead of Renegades after their victory today. But more LCS games are coming your way tomorrow at noon. Rivals CLG and TSM duke it out in our second match of the day, followed by Immortals taking on Cloud9. Then Liquid will battle Renegades before Team Dignitas face off against Impulse to round out Week 5. And just 10 minutes after today's show, the ULOL Campus Series returns, and they're heading down to the Longhorn State to pay tribute to one of the biggest college rivalries in the South, University of Texas versus Texas A&M. That is a big one. Now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, I'd like to thank Mark Zimmerman.
Second time, dude.
I know. It's a hard name, man. I'm
I don't even
sorry.
wanna come back now.
That's
I just
not
feel
true. You
underappreciated.
totally want to come back. Thank you very much for joining us. Your insight is always very much appreciated. To the rest of you at home, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry. I don't know why.